Ladies and gentlemen, this next fight is three-minute rounds in the Apfc lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial arts artist who is tonight making his mixed martial arts debut. He stands 6 feet tall and weighed in at 153.6 pounds. Fighting out of Front Royal, Virginia, here is Joe, the Soul Taker, Slatky. His opponent standing across the cage. Fighting out of the red corner. This man is also making his mixed martial arts debut this evening, and he stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 158.2 pounds and fights out of Fairfax, Virginia. Here is Esteban Gomez. And when the action begins, our referee in charge is Jason King.
Gotta mention the difference in demeanors here, David Evans. Joe Slatky very fired up. Esteban Gomez unbothered.
It's like fire and ice in the cage right now. Who's gonna win?
I would say historically fire's been pretty successful at melting ice, but Esteban Gomez answers the assignment of the debutante, Joe Slatky.
Slatky coming out, pressuring forward, sticking that jab out there, not really looking to, land, but just to keep it in front of his opponent's face.
A mountain of movement is Joe Slatky, feinting and changing different levels. Gomez just making the reads right now, David.
Yeah, I kind of like Gomez's approach, though. He's very laid back and reserved, but you can see him taking and collecting that mental data.
Slatky tries to go downstairs, misses. Esteban Gomez stance switching right now in southpaw. Joe Slatky in the orthodox stance.
Gomez seems to be very poised to strike and maybe counter Slatky on the outside.
Seems like he's content to let Joe Slatky tire himself out. All of this movement, all these whiffing strikes is eventually going to wear on the gas tank.
That too, and that speaks to, his 0-1 is experience, still nonetheless, and that speaks to his experience in the fight game.
Joe Slatky doing a great job of keeping that guard up and keeping it tight, we'll say that.
Very sporadic movement by Slatky, as you said earlier.
Feels like the jitters of the debut are kind of present in Slatky's performance so far through 90 seconds.
Very much so.
Oh! As we mentioned, it down goes Slatky.
Quick slip right there. And motion and movement is good, but there has to be a method to it. You have to know where you're going as you're moving. And when you don't, something like that happens. And now he's on his back. Let's see how comfortable he is working off of the back position. Esteban
Gomez really digging into the guard here, trying to slice through it. A little bit of ground and pound. Exits. Joe Slatky.
Gomez seemed to be very technical there, in the top position. We saw him trying to cut the knee across and he sliced across, not rushing any position, not necessarily putting himself in a bad position and just taking what's given to him.
Big connection right there. Esteban Gomez rushes in, couple knees on Slatky. Joe Slatky doesn't seem to like it, David.
Beautiful switch knees there by Gomez. Switch knee, went back to the opposite side knee, good Muay Thai plum. However, Slatky sneaking in the guillotine, it's tight.
Joe Slatky snatched it when Esteban Gomez brought him upstairs. Gomez with the right defense, I would say, David.
So far, yes, he needs to get his hip up and actually go deeper into the guillotine. I know people want to snatch back and try to posture up, however, that typically makes the choke harder. If he keeps his hips up, dig his shoulder into Slatky's chin, and try to get out to the parallel side there, Slatky, he'd be in a better position. But Slatky is committed to that guillotine.
Slatky having to really readjust. You can see him utilizing the hips now, but Esteban Gomez has passed the test so far. 10 seconds remains. Can Slatky finish this choke right here, right now? No, he can't.
Gomez doing a good job, just staying patient in danger. He was in the fire there for a second, but he did everything he was supposed to do. Got his hips up, got his shoulder into Slatky's throat, and was patient, and that's how he got out of that position.
An excellent first round. Slatky, constant movement from him. Esteban Gomez, though, with, I would say, just the more success, right? Defensively more aware, and offensively was just a bit more in control. Let's take some of the highlights from round number 1, David Evans.
Here we have it. Slatky came out just moving erratically through that kick with no intention to land, or there was no target, it seemed, and he slipped, and that put him in a bad position on his back. However, Gomez then hit the pedal to the metal, switch knee, opposite knee, Muay Thai plum, got right to the shot there, which I thought was a beautiful beautiful transition. However, in the midst of that transition, Slatky threw on the guillotine and then just committed to that guillotine for the later half of the round there. And that's what we saw. Gomez looked like he was in trouble for a second, however, did all of the right things, got out of the fire, and now he's going into the second round. That's a hard round to kind of judge for me. I got to give it to Gomez, but Slatky, I'm impressed by his ability to throw in and snatch that guillotine at a moment's notice.
Do you think that his arms are affected at all by really trying to muscle his way through that guillotine?
Very much so, I do, but only time is going to tell, right, Ben?
Fair enough. Esteban Gomez stance switching in the early moments of round number 2. Joe Slatky covering up. Big kick right there from Gomez, misses. Slatky seems to have slowed down just a notch from round number 1.
Very much so. Gomez still, seems comfortable staying. Oh, wow. Big 1-2 there by Slatky. Maybe caused Gomez just kind of being a little too relaxed there with that 1-2 down the middle. Beautiful transition. Now Gomez on top. Back in Slatky's guard.
Slatky clearly comfortable on the ground. Closing the guard here and just isolating that right arm. Gomez does sneak it out for now.
Gomez has really great coaching. And I can tell just by the little things that he's doing in each of these positions. He's in the guard, was driving his head into his opponent's jaw line. His hand position's perfect. Now he's in prime position to just posture up and land some strikes.
Wow. Again, not all amateur rule sets created equally. Some elbows right there from Gomez. Big left connects right there from Gomez. Slatky busted open, bit of blood now coming down. He is getting a tough debut in Esteban Gomez.
Very much so, man. And I mean, not only tough, but Gomez seems to be a class ahead of Slatky technically. So it's not only is his opponent intense, but they're always a step ahead of you. That can be frustrating to deal with.
A bit of Muay Thai right there from Gomez with the plum. Now just muscles and throws Slatky to the floor. The Soul Taker seems potentially out of options. 120 left in round 2.
Beautiful elbows and ground and pound by Gomez. Did a great job. Immediately during the transition, slid his knee across, and that's how he got to that top mount position.
Joe Slatky is in a world of trouble against Esteban Gomez. 60 seconds remain. He's moving. He's trying to defend and get out of this, but Gomez is really riding with him.
Very much so, just being very sharp technically, keeping the hooks in on his back there and just landing the strikes whenever he sees them, not forcing anything. I mean, Gomez seems to be very fluid on the top position.
There is no wasted movement from Esteban Gomez. He is just bloodying up the Soul Taker, trying to put the finishing movements on a potential submission, David.
Man, Gomez is painting the canvas red with Slatky's blood, man. Just ground and pound, looking for positions. However, he slipped his hips off just a little bit, and that allowed Slatky to get on top now. Let's see if Slatky's going to get some payback here.
Final 15 seconds. Each guy reversing and transitioning around. Looks like Esteban Gomez is going to end round 2 on top, delivering some devastating elbows, David Evans.
Man, I like that, especially, from an amateur, you don't really get to see that. Amateurs don't typically even think to throw elbows in that position. But the way that Gomez is approaching them, the way that he's throwing them, he's doing a great job finding the spots to strike. I'm impressed.
We talked about demeanor changing from the beginning of the fight to now. Joe Slatky's appearance changed indefinitely.
Let's see how the Soul Taker responds to some blood here. Maybe that's going to amp him up a little bit.
Well, let's see how that blood happened. David Evans, take me through these highlights of round number 2.
Here we have Slatky. He landed that 1-2, which surprised everybody. However, Gomez made the adjustments, got the body lock, got the trip, and was able to get on top and go to work, which is pretty much the story of the round for the most part. Did some very veteran maneuvers, sliding the knees across, getting himself in position before he landed strikes, which afforded him the time to just really burn out the clock and land strikes at will. I believe there was a portion where Slatky did get a reversal where Gomez tried to go for that arm lock transition like a modified arm bar. However, Slatky wasn't on top too long. Gomez got back on top, and I'm going to give that round to Gomez.
Round number 3 between Joe the Soul Taker Slatky and Esteban Gomez. By all accounts, Slatky needs a finish.
Very much so, man. I like how Gomez has been sneaking that snap front kick up the middle there for Slatky as he comes in.
Joe Slatky really on this body lock. Gomez pummeling into it. This is, I mean, a lot of damage for an amateur debut for Joe Slatky to take.
Very much so. I mean, this is, if anything, a great learning experience for him. I mean, you're only better after going through a fight and an experience like this. On a stage like this, nonetheless.
Beautiful takedown by Joe Slatky. Gomez trying to isolate and work on that right arm.
Beautiful takedown. He's just stayed connected to it. I mean, at first, I wasn't sure Slatky was going to be able to transition to the double leg. However, just staying consistent and being stubborn there allowed him to get the finish. Now he's in a good position to, you know, get some work in on top and perhaps get some payback, and, you know, maybe we see more blood here, man.
A roll reversal. Esteban Gomez trying to get out of this, but Slatky transitions to the back. Oh, Joe Slatky once again trying to find a potential choke that might be tight.
Slatky sneakily sneaking in that rear naked choke. I didn't even see it. Like, it was right in the middle of the transition, and it's tight.
Esteban Gomez might be moments away from tapping out in round 3.
Gomez needs to get his back to the canvas here. He's doing a great job attacking the top hand. That's gonna not really allow his opponent to sink in the choke like he needs to. However, he needs to switch his hips, hip heights, and get his back to the canvas. You don't want to do that typically. It's bad to be on bottom, but it's much better than someone having your back.
Gomez avoids the rear naked choke, but Slatky transitions to mount and is just going to work. But a big reversal from Gomez.
That was a beautiful sweep. He trapped the arm there by Gomez, and that just speaks to the technical deficiencies or difference between these two fighters. Gomez, every time he's gotten in a bad position, was able to recover technically, where Slatky is going off of fire and just ferocity in this fight.
Soul crushing for the soul taker, potentially, as Joe Slatky finds himself on his back with 40 seconds to go. Now trying to throw up some more submissions, but Gomez defends deftly, David.
Gomez doing a great job just transitioning through these scrambles, finding his spots. Snuck the boot there in on the right-hand side of Slatky. That's going to probably keep him attached to his opponent for the next 30 seconds. And it's just back to what he's been doing, right? He gets on the back and just picks his spots and lands punches.
Joe Slatky, though, finds a reversal, but Gomez rolls with it. You can't question the heart of Joe Slatky. I mean, he came in here really trying to prove a lot. Again, he talked a lot during fight weekend. You know, by all accounts. Oh, here he is, though, in a rear naked choke. That looks like it could be deep. Can Slatky survive?
That looks tight. Is he out? Oh, it looked like he may have been. I mean, I saw his arms go limp. Maybe it was just from pure defeat on the behalf of Slatky there. But, I mean, that was a great showing for both guys.
Joe Slatky and Esteban Gomez go the full three-minute rounds. A lot of toughness displayed by Joe Slatky, but Esteban Gomez, highly technical, and again, he came in here with a lot to prove coming off of that debut, and he did it.
Very much so. I think Gomez went into this fight with the mentality that I'm the teacher. You know, he went out there and was very technical. We saw some really good things from him. Even in bad spots here, we see Slatky got that double leg. As I said earlier, just stay committed to it. It wasn't the most technical sound takedown. However, just pure grit allowed him to get in that position. Almost got the finish here. I mean, we were both on the edge of our seats there for a second as he slipped in that rear naked choke, and no one seemed to see it coming. For a second, we thought Gomez was out of there, but however, he definitely reversed the roles, got the rear naked choke on his arm, and that's how we ended that round. I have to give that round to Gomez. I think I got to give the fight to Gomez. I mean, good showing there by Slatky. I think he came out, he proved his point, and a part of being a man is also being able to accept defeat. So if the judges don't go in his way, you know, I expect him to model that here as he leaves the cage.
Certainly a win or learn moment for Joe Slatky. He's going to come back better than ever, but by all accounts, I imagine that Esteban Gomez will be welcomed to the winner's column for the very first time. We take it to Shane Graham to find out the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Our judges scored this contest 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27, all for your winner by unanimous decision, Esteban Gomez.
Esteban Gomez showed all of the tricks of the trade in this unanimous decision victory over Joe Slatky, a tough customer.